unbox the amplifier, let's take a look at the box itself, because there's a lot of information on the box about the amplifier, other than just the model number. It has auto turn on, and it does make it easier for the amplifier to be added to a factory receiver. For those of you that don't know what auto turn on, this will have some form of sense over the high level input to turn the amplifier automatically on. It's designed and engineered in Japan. It's a Class D amplifier with maximum power total of 1000 watts. However, for most applications, it's going to be 50 watts by 4 and 200 watts by 1 at the 4 ohm rating. It's a 543 channel amplifier. It has balanced speaker inputs, the auto turn on that we just mentioned, variable bass boost, and it is a MOSFET amplifier. The back side of the amplifier will also give you a decent amount of information, such as size. This is going to be 13 and 7/16 of an inch long, 7 and 5/16 wide, and 2 and 1/16 deep. It is also CEA 2006 compliant. We get the 2 ohm rating on the backside also of 65 watts by 4 and 300 by 1. And then if you take it to the 3 channel mode and bridge it, it says it's 130 watts by 2, 200 by 1. This is going to be a 4 ohm rating. That doesn't mean that the sub can't do a 2 ohm rating. My guess is that it can. So maximum power you're going to get out of this is 2 ohm, 130 watts by 2, and then the sub portion at 2 ohm will give you 300 watts. Inside the box, the amplifier comes packaged with foam ends and in a plastic bag. Comes with the owner instruction warranty card. It is a standard roadmap style instruction that starts with how to wire up the amplifier, what the dip switches are for, as well as all the gain controls and crossovers. Let's take a closer look at those settings. 6 channel preamp input, 4 channel high level input. Across the top here, your front gain control, variable between 0.5 to 5 volts of input, the high pass on and off switch, the dial to control the frequencies, which are 50 to 200 hertz for the front 2 channels. The rear 2 channels are the same. On the bottom we have the 5 channel 4 channel input selector. What that means is if you're just going to be running front and rear input and have no sub, flick this to the 4 channel mode and it'll auto populate this input. Your subwoofer control is on the bottom. Gain control 0.5 to 5 volts. Your bass boost is 0 to 18 dB, centered at 45 hertz. And just like the high pass, it is variable between 50 and 200 hertz. Flipping the amp over and taking a look at our connections, it has 2 30 amp fuses, the screw down 4 gauge input, battery, remote, ground. The subwoofer connection on this side is what we call an over-under. The positive is on the top, the negative is on the bottom. The rest of the bottom is going to be for your rears. On the top here, it is right, positive, negative, left, negative, positive. Now as far as features goes, this is a pretty standard 5 channel amplifier, but let's see what it looks like inside. And here is the inside of the amplifier. Power supply, stiffened capacitors, output devices, your input control panel here, your speaker level routed through the center of the amplifier here. Very clean, very organized. I love the black circuit board that it has. All of this is very nice, very organized. It's a very clean, organized looking amplifier. And all this has been leading up to, let's do a real world amp dyno on this and see what kind of power you're going to get out of this in the real world. Not necessarily what the box says. The amplifier is connected to the amp dyno. We have our tracks ready to go. To power the other 3 channels that won't be used for this basic channel 1 and 2 input, we're using load resistors. Both rear channels are connected to the load resistor, as well as the sub channel is connected to the load resistor. This is to add the stress of speaker load onto the amplifier. That way we'll make sure to get a more accurate output. The first set of tests is just going to be using channels 1 and 2 at 4 ohm and 2 ohm. First run of 4 ohms on channels 1 and 2, we have 65 and 60 watts. The next test is going to be certified 2 ohm, and that brings us to 106 and 102. We'll reset and do an uncertified. This test is channel 1 and 2, 4 ohm, and we get the 65 and 60 watts. Let's see what she does at 2 ohm. The 105 and the 103 uncertified. Now it's time for the dynamic power run on channel 1 and 2 at 4 ohm. And that gave us 63 and 62 watts. The final test for channel 1 and 2 will be the 2 ohm test. And we got a matching 112 watts per channel at 2 ohm. The next test we're going to be doing is a certified run where we bridge channel 1 and 2 to left and channel 3 and 4 to right. We'll keep the subwoofer channel on the load resistor so that it is weighted down. Certified run, 2 channel, bridged 1 and 2, 3 and 4 at the 4 ohm load. Wow.
Nice.
Jeez.
Nice.
We get a 209 on 1 and 2 and a 205 on 3 and 4. Let's do an uncertified run. That yields 209 and 204. Last test is going to be the dynamic power run. Dynamic power is definitely the most impressive at a 225 and a 227. The last test we'll be running on this is on the sub output channel. Let's see what kind of wattage we get out of that. And we're ready to do the certified run. This is a 4 ohm mono load, and that gets us a 240 watts. The next test will be 2 ohm. Wow, and at 2 ohms we throw up 391 watts. Uncertified is next. First up is 4 ohm, and we get a 241 at 2 ohms, and that gives us a 395. Dynamic is next, and that gives us a 241 at 4 ohms. Doing the 2 ohm, and there we go, we get a 403. This thing is putting out tons of power. Holy cow. Alright guys, there you go. Some real world amp dyno testing. If you pick one of these up, you're definitely not going to be disappointed with the power output on one of these. The value on this is extraordinary. We got a compact size. Way to go, JVC. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you on the next real world amp dyno. You guys have a great night. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.